Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bardstream. Good to see you all. There's a whole bunch of stuff I could talk about, but I guess I'll keep my side of things as brief as I can, and then I'll be looking to the comment section. And anyone who has any questions, topics, etc., I'll be happy to answer those, or I'll do my best to answer those. Sometimes I don't really have answers, and other times I go overly long-winded. So I'll see what I can do. I've been staying very busy working on a Gauntlet Runner, a lot of Gauntlet Runner. The book, preparing for the Kickstarter, preparing for promotion, recording sessions. Last week, I actually recorded 3 different sessions. They were squad runs this time, so pretty soon, like next month on the channel, you're going to see Dungeon 2, the Dungeon 2 competition. And it's going to be 3 different squads of 4 players each. There were some return players, such as Tabletop Bob and Baron Drop, who was the winner of Dungeon number 1. He's back with Merbus, now at 2nd level for him. And Mark Seifter and Adam from, known around my channel. And who else came back? That actually might be all of the returning players. And then there's a whole bunch of other players in there. There's like Wally DM and Nate from WASD 20 and Kelsey Dion. Yeah, I got Kelsey Dion in one of the squads. That was cool. Hank from Runehammer, Ben Milton, Questing Beast, and couple others. So be on the lookout for Dungeon 2 Gauntlet Runner competition on the channel next month. And also I should be starting the pre-Kickstarter promoting. So like the pre-launch promoting. You can already follow the Kickstarter page. There's a link down below in the video description. It's just like a placeholder page. All that's going to get an official rendition and look much better, but you can still go follow it now. And then next month, should be starting next month, there'll be actual legit promoting of the pre-launch, and there'll be ways for everyone to get access to some really cool pre-launch rewards, like early bird exclusive rewards. So really excited about it. I'll probably make another video or do another live stream just about Gauntlet Runner. I'll probably do a number of them, but specifically one about getting the wording of things correct, or the positioning of things. Like, I'm still trying to figure out the best way to actually describe Gauntlet Runner. The best I have right now is a D&D campaign of dungeon run competitions. And I think that's pretty good, a D&D campaign of dungeon run competitions. But I don't know if maybe there could be something better, like a 5e campaign of, gladiator meets dungeon runs. So we'll see. Hello, everyone. Drew, it's good to see you, man. One of the very active GMs of our Myriad Legends community campaign. I'll be putting out a call for more applicant GMs as well. The campaign's going really cool, really well. A lot of GMs, a lot of players, a lot of sessions being run, all set in the Myriad Legends campaign setting in Ikoros. And yeah, I can't wait to get more GMs and more players involved in that. So it looks like there's a few other people that I recognize here in the chat. Twapo, hello. Actually, Twapo, you will be playing in a Gauntlet Runner dungeon run by me, a private game tomorrow. So looking forward to that one. You will actually be in the 2nd group ever to attempt the Oubliette of Dread. So the first group, they TPK'd right at the very end. Yep, they made it to the final room and all went down in a blaze of glory. But it was a really cool session. So, before I get into the comments, though, I need to do my monthly Patreon drawing. Actually, it's going to be a double monthly Patreon drawing because I was so swamped last month. So I'm going to switch over to that, and we will do some drawing. So every month I do a drawing of people, supporters on my Patreon, and depending on what level you're at, like what tier or level you're at on the Patreon, your name could be in here one or more times. Actually, if you see these mythic patrons, they've got their names in here 5 times each. So I'm going to draw or select randomly 5 patrons, and then I'll reach out to you by Patreon message and by email, and you can select a reward. Tornado! That's great to see. Awesome. A big supporter, that Tornado. That's really cool. All right. Congratulations, Tornado. I'll be reaching out to you, and you can select your reward. You can get a monster concept in the next Scrolls of the Bard newsletter. You can be a guest on the Bardstream, or just submit a topic for the next Bardstream, or do like a private Zoom call, or just almost anything you want. J Mo, congratulations, J Mo. I think that's also a first time for you. Great to see. I'm gonna do 2 more, so I get 4. Usually I do 2 a month, but last month I was just so swamped. So we're gonna do a double whammy this time. And we've got a Thomas Fontanari. That's a really cool last name, Fontanari. Maybe it's Tomas Fontanari. Okay, congratulations, Tomas. And we'll get 1 more spin of the wheel of fate here and see who we have. Yeah, round of applause for Tornado. Really cool to see him come up. Tobit. Awesome. Another name that I've seen for a while and glad to see actually get drawn. Okay, cool. I will reach out to all of those fine individuals and see what sort of reward you all want. So yeah, like I said, I could talk about all kinds of different things, but why don't I go over to the chat here, and if you all have any questions or topics or anything, put it in the chat, and I'm gonna do my best to keep up with them. So we'll see how this goes. Captain Conway. Hey Esper, I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I'm doing pretty well. Just really staying super busy. Gauntlet Runner, the community campaign, YouTube, family, that all just keeps me really busy. I've been doing a lot of art directing and directing of a trailer video for the Gauntlet Runner Kickstarter, and this trailer video is going to be so cool. You guys are going to love it. I'm really excited about the trailer. I hope you're doing well. I watched a YouTuber called Table Runner Crispy react to one of your games with a focus on roleplay. I saw that you commented on it. What did you think of it? Yes. So I watched Crispy's like breakdown. The format that he does is, I will admit, a little... Sorry guys, my hair is being crazy here. It's super windy today. I've been outside the park with my kids. The format is a little tedious because he's frequently pausing the video and making the comments and the critiques and whatnot. But I was able to watch the whole thing. Maybe he could toy with that format a little bit, let it play a little longer and then make a comment. I don't know if he has to comment with a certain frequency to not like run into problems on YouTube with like featuring other people's videos or copyright issues. So it might have something to do with that. Yeah, he gave me some good things to think about. The session that he chose actually was not one of my best sessions. But I think he chose it because it's more role play focused than anything. But yeah, if I was to like suggest a session for him or someone to review, I wouldn't have picked that one. It was cool in its own way, just not my best session ever. Yeah, he had many comments, and I got some food for thought out of it. One thing that he highlighted multiple times is that he liked the voices in like fantasy languages I would do, and that's something that I enjoy doing. I liked sprinkling in those sorts of things and having the monsters and the NPCs really come to life and doing voices and sound effects. That's one of the joys for me as as a game master. Based Commodore. I started playing a few years after it was invented in 1982. Okay, I started playing a few years after it was invented in 1982. I was 12. Awesome. That was actually the year I was born. A lot of great movies in 1982, by the way. If you go and look at like all the movies that came out that year, really cool. Like Conan the Barbarian and Blade Runner, I believe, are both in 1982. Donald. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for making videos. I really enjoyed your Bard Backstories video. Thank you, Donald. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. I mean, I do what I do because I have a lot of inspiration, and so I'm an artist, and I have to create. Also, I do what I do because of you all. Like being able to channel that inspiration publicly in YouTube videos and in books and adventures and everything, so that you all can take that inspiration in and then go and do something of your own with it. Like that's incredibly motivating to me. My big dream is to get people's creative sparks going, right? That like flame. That's part of the reason of that torch icon that shows up a lot in my work, right? It's like that's that divine fire, right? That fire of creation, the fire of inspiration, that human drive to design and plan and build and like adventure out in some sort of way, bravely so, and discover and create, and then come back and share with the community. So that's my big dream. So really, thank you. You guys are what really allow me to do the work that I do, to be a writer and a game designer and a creative and a YouTuber. It's if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't have this. So I'm immensely grateful, and I hope that I can just continue to provide value to you all. Let's see, Daryl Errett. I'm not sure if I'm saying that last name properly. What's the core resolution mechanic of Gauntlet Runner? It's a 5e campaign, so it's D&D, and it takes D&D and focuses things. Get into the dungeon fast. Get into the action fast. It's tense. It's a dynamic dungeon environment. There's danger around every corner. The decisions you make really impact things. They really make a difference. It's very interactive terrain. So it's not just like plain room with a monster in it. There's all kinds of different little things you can mess with. Coming up with creative solutions is encouraged. Being clever and observant is just as important as having a strong character, like in terms of combat ability. In fact, Baron Drops Merbus, the gnome wizard, who won the Dungeon 1 competition, had no offensive spells. He was all tricks and misdirection and illusion and stuff like that, and charms. So yeah, focused, high stakes, hardcore 5e dungeons. And you can play it as a competition, almost like a gladiatorial competition or a dungeon runner competition, or you can play them just as standalone modules. So you can do squad runs, you can do solo runs, or you can just take these dungeons and just put them insert them into any campaign setting you want. They also just function, each one in of itself, just as a really cool dungeon. Based Commodore. I've been a fan of Esper back when his subs were in double digits. Oh man. Okay, so you're back in the earliest of Reps Esper days. Yeah, that was the original name of the channel, was Reps Esper. Renamed the channel to Esper the Bard back in, oh gosh, 2014 or something like that. I don't remember very well. But gosh, man, thank you so much for being around for so long. So much has changed since then. So much. Like I started in August of 2009, so I'm coming up on, oh my gosh, 16 years. So I'm coming up on 16 years of this YouTube channel. And it was so different back in those first few years. So different. It was way more like low production. It was just like people with their little home camera just making a little home video. That's what it was. It was home videos. It was not like job. It wasn't anyone's job, right? It wasn't a big deal or a serious thing like that. It took some years. Like there wasn't even monetization or ads or anything back then. It literally was just a place where people could store their videos of like their toddlers running around in the backyard hitting each other with sticks. And just over time has grown and become more complex and sophisticated, and now it's like I don't know what chunk of the internet is YouTube. It's massive. Okay, let me go back up here. I knew this channel would blow up. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And really, the phase that I'm at right now is I have to reach the next level. I have to. I must. I don't have I really don't have a choice. Well, I mean, there is something of a choice. It is I must reach the next level, or else I'm gonna have to do something different. I mean, I wouldn't ever just quit YouTube, but I would have to make a significant shift in the way that I make a living, I think. So I have to reach the next level. And I'm giving everything I have to Gauntlet Runner to make it an amazing book and to promote it really well, to actually take the promoting and the marketing very seriously, and to focus on the community aspect of it, and to keep developing the Myriad Legends Discord community, and we'll incorporate the Gauntlet Runner Kickstarter into that in some fashion, and just do everything I can to make it a really great book, a really great Kickstarter, a great community that people can come and play like the coolest dungeons that they've always wanted to play in. So yeah. Sir Nunes, a +5 Vorpal sword is a prize. Baron Derop asked me the same exact question. He was like, okay, so I'm the winner of Dungeon 1. I get to pick because you get that's like the reward is whoever wins that round gets to choose a magic item. And he asked if he could have the Vorpal sword. And I said, well, that might come with some very, very dark drawbacks if you choose such an ambitious item. And I said, well, here's the standard list. And it's like, it's a level 1 dungeon. So they're like level 1 appropriate magic items, right? Like 50 gold piece value magic items, or a first level spell scroll, things like that. But I said, if you're feeling very ambitious and you want something that's above and beyond the level appropriate list, let me know. But just due warning, there could be a dark drawback for such an ambitious thing. Base Commodore Esper, have you ever run White Plume Mountain, and what is your favorite module? Alas, no. I have never run or played in the fabled White Plume Mountain. I believe that's where the Dracolich first began, or at least there was a major Dracolich. Is it? Oh my gosh, Dragotha? I could be remembering that wrong. I've got a lot of things bouncing around in the old dusty archive, so I might be crossing some wires there. Yeah, I've obviously heard lots about White Plume Mountain over the years. Hopefully I will get to play it someday. In terms of my favorite module, I actually recently, as in yesterday, just uploaded a video about that, my favorite D&D adventure of all time. And there's a lot of great adventures that I've had the pleasure of running and sometimes playing in as a player. Though, if I have to pick one, I'm going with Escape from Meanlock Prison. It's from Dungeon Magazine 2007, so kind of like late in the 3.5 era of D&D and the old Dungeon Magazine that Paizo made, which was a fantastic magazine. There's many copies of it right there on my shelf. So Escape from Meanlock Prison, it was a very low-key adventure. It wasn't any grand production. It was a first-level adventure. And I mean, I won't spoil too much the video. The video, well, I guess the video talks about the adventure in full spoiler glory. But yeah, go check it out. It's just like my video upload from yesterday. But it's it's a horror adventure. It's a horror fantasy adventure. But the players going into it, they don't know that. They are just under the impression that they are going to a private prison and they've been given the money and this like letter to go pick up a prisoner and do this prisoner transfer, bring him out of the prison back to the city to this like interested party. And the characters go to get this like strange religious zealot prisoner. And what they don't know is that there was a prison break recently. The prison break happened when these strange creatures tunneled up into the underground prison and began unleashing mind assaulting chaos and terror and like dragging people away to turn them into more of these monsters, mean locks. And in the chaos and the madness, some of the prisoners escaped and like got up the hoist, like this old medieval lift cage, and like took out the prison guards and the warden, put on their suits, and are now posing as the warden and the guards of the prison, and are like selling off all the wine because the prisoners are made to make these like this fine wine. And yeah, and then everything changes when the characters are like sent down in that cage down into the dark terror underbelly of chaos. It's a beautiful, nightmarish, truly a horror adventure. There are a lot of D&D adventures that have like a dark flavor or kind of a horror flavor or tinge to them, like Curse of Strahd, which I even did a little poke at that in the video thumbnail. You know, in many ways, Curse of Strahd and Ravenloft is a great setting, a great adventure. I mean, I do have my criticisms of it, but in general, it's great. But the more the players advance, and this is just a D&D thing, especially a 5e thing, I would say 4e as well, the characters are just so superhero powerful that it can be hard to pull off horror, because it's hard to feel terrified when you can just like kick everything's ass. Like, you've seen superhero movies, you know, they're usually not horror movies. The characters are so powerful, and you know, when they see terrifying demons and stuff, they'll just crack jokes at them. But first level, first level, things are actually a bit scary, and you're not quite superhero powered yet. Crush Pusher. Hey Esper, if you could pitch one class from Monstrous Heroes as the big selling point, which would you choose to represent it? Ah, gosh. So generally speaking, the dragon has been the favorite, like the most spoken of and played class from Monstrous Heroes. Though I don't know if I would use that one to be the representative. I mean, the Minotaur is on the cover, and that was the first class that really like knocked on my door and said, this needs to be a thing. Like, and that was the first class I designed for it. So, I mean, probably Minotaur is like my quick pick, my quick go-to, but many of them I think could represent it well. I mean, Minotaur is just this wonderful, you know, nexus, like a converging point where you have like, there's definitely obviously a human element in there, so that's relatable, but then there's this bestial monster element in there as well, so you get that. Then there's also this mythology tie-in, and it's a pretty flexible class, I would like to say. There's three Minotaur subclasses in there. The Juggernaut, which is like the most like melee powerful brute warrior, focuses also on like the Minotaur charge, making it extra powerful. The Labyrinth Hunter, who has more hunting type abilities and these interesting traps. It is also kind of like a head hunter, like a decapitator, and you make this like head collection that you wear as like a necklace or a waistband or something. And then the Horned Shaman, which is a partial spellcaster with bit of druid, bit of warlock, that kind of like dark but primal style going on with it. So yeah, that'd be my quick go-to. But if I had time to like really think about it and analyze it from more of like a marketing perspective, I might choose something different. There's different kinds of classes in Monstrous Heroes, so they do sort of different things. Let's see. Sarah Nunes, those were legendary movies. When did Legend come out again? I'll look it up. I want to say Legend is later. I think because um, there were like the three really big, amazing movies um, that were that were done by Ridley Scott there in the like into the 70s, early 80s. Alien, Blade Runner, Legend. They were in that order. As Alien, I think Alien was like 79 or 78 or something. Then Blade Runner is like 82, and then Legend is after that. So Legend's like maybe 85. Let's look it up here. Legend, Ridley Scott film, 85. Yeah. And then he kind of shifted gears after Legend, started trying some different things. So, let's see. Conan was a huge inspiration. Great music by Basil Paudouris. Yeah, amazing soundtrack. Dun 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 dun. And there's also some great scenes in Conan that they let things breathe for a while. Movies don't always do that these days, especially more action type movies. Like the scene where he's kind of escaping from the wolves or the wild dogs, and he goes down into that cave and has to like light a torch, and he finds the Atlantean sword there on the throne with that old skeletal king, and there's like no real dialogue. He says "Crom" one time, and the music, lets it have a what do you call it when the music kind of calms down and becomes more atmospheric. It has that, there's dynamic to it. It's not just like constant beat you over the head with itself. Though obviously it does not long after get back into bloody action and muscularity. So yeah, great music, great movie, seminal movie. Captain Conway, great to hear that you're doing well. I personally really enjoy the monsters you bring from older editions and even the monsters you create. So here's my hoping to more bestiaries of custom monsters. There will be a bestiary in Gauntlet Runner. There'll be some unique new monsters in there, such as the Vexarak, which is a monkey bat demon thing with whips. Yeah. And what else? The Scuttling Pang, this little like iron construct thing with like spider legs and spikes coming off of it, but it has an organic eye embedded into it, and it has a poison that harms the dexterity score. And the Gulch are these like grotesque, like pale, very what's the word I'm looking for, like grotesquely corpulent I think is the right word. Very fleshy and corpulent, and like no neck, and these long arms with claws, very brutish underground things. And the Pit Hounds, these sort of twisted canine dog-like monster things. I think technically they are beasts, and they're plated with armor and spikes. And the boss monsters, oh my gosh, I forgot to mention them until now. That's also one of the major things with Gauntlet Runner is each dungeon has a really cool boss monster with a lot of style and personality. And do you fight the boss monster? They're all very powerful. You can potentially fight them and kill them. They're not impossible, but they are very deadly. Or do you find some way to like outmaneuver them or trick them? Or there are a lot of like secret things in these dungeons. You can find ways actually to like just wipe out the boss by solving some kind of puzzle or being very clever, or like Merbus charmed the boss in Rat's Fray. He charmed Raven, and Raven can potentially be helpful depending upon what you do. Yeah, decisions really matter. Okay, let's see. Oh my, lost my place. Okay, here we go. Hey, Samuel here. How does it feel to have this whole world of yours ran by a whole community? Hearing tales of the players and DMs and regions, a whole living and breathing world, a world you made. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. And I wish I had more time to devote to it. I am planning to make more time for it. I just have to prioritize things right and like always be focusing on the right thing at the right moment. But I am able to interact with the community with, you know, pretty regularly, with pretty frequently, and you know, be able to run a couple sessions there a month. So that's cool to get to meet with you all and run games for you guys. And you know, it's legitimately a community. It's just we're all just participating and contributing to it out of out of the love of it. So that's it. In essence, it's simple. I mean, obviously there's a lot of like practical kind of complexities we have to figure out in terms of logistics, like scheduling sessions and making the organizing the different channels. Sorry guys, my hair is just completely irking me here. Ugh. And you know, there's the logistical side of it that has its complexities. But you know, at its core, it's pretty grassroots. It's just a bunch of people coming together to say, hey, let's run great adventures. Let's really focus on quality. Let's try to get together great GMs. The GMs will be vetted and run great adventures and try to focus on the quality and make this a really cool community and develop a world with, you know, I'm the leader of it, the coordinator, you might call me. And, you know, I'll, in the very near future, I am planning on making like this comprehensive campaign setting document that will do more fleshing out of the world building, that will give more details in world building and lore of the different regions and nations and locations in the world. And I need to make more YouTube videos about the lore. I know that's just, if you saw my to-do list, you'd scream. All in due time though. It's coming. It's coming. I'll be drawing upon the GM's different region building and meeting with the GMs and, you know, listening to their tales from their adventures, and they'll be telling me like what's going on in your region and how is that connecting with the wider world and neighboring regions. And you know, I'm used to that process. I do that a lot, from taking concepts from like the patron drawings or from the like higher pledge tiers on previous Kickstarters I've done, where people submit concepts for monsters or for NPCs. And so I like that a lot. I like taking people's concepts and ideas that they submit, right? They willingly submit, and like sometimes I can use things pretty close to how they are, and then other times they do need alteration to fit better into the grand scheme of things. So I'll have to do editing, and then other times I can't use a concept. It just doesn't work for one reason or another. It just doesn't work. But that's fine too, because that gives me some perspective, and it says, okay, that didn't work, but it triggers something in my mind. And by comparison, I now know the direction I do want to go in, right? Things can indirectly provide fuel for ideas and inspiration. So I love that process. It's fantastic. The campaign, the community really means so much to me. I'm not going to like cry on this live stream here, but it really, really means a lot to me. I hope to keep tending it well and, you know, see how far it grows and what heights it can reach to. I'm very curious to see what it might become. I think it has a potential for great things, and we're all like trailblazing and discovering together. Let's see here. Matt. Hello, Esper. I've been around since the early 4E days, since long before I would ever get to play in a tabletop RPG game for the first time. I learned a lot about the hobby and GMing from you. Thank you. That means a lot to me for you to say that. As I mentioned before, that's the hope. That's the dream, right? The big dream, that I can provide, you know, videos, books, newsletters, you know, whatever form it takes. I can provide my work and my creations to you all, and you can get advice or ideas or inspiration, or in some cases, just straight up use the thing exactly how it is. Run a monster out of a bestiary, or run like an adventure module that I publish. That's the big hope. Knowing that people are truly getting something valuable out of my work just makes my heart overflow with joy. Like that's the reason I was put on this earth. I would say that, and like being a husband and a father. Those are like the top things. That those are my reasons to get up in the morning. That those are my reasons to live and to work like I do, which if I haven't said this already, I just basically work constantly, but I love it. I'm very, very, very passionate about this. So I can't fully express my gratitude to you guys. Drew, as one of the many GMs for Myriad, and by the way, everyone, Drew ran how many sessions last month? I think I've lost track of the count. I've got it on here somewhere. Was it 7 sessions? Here, I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. Drew ran. Bach, I don't have the stats right in front of me. Okay. So correct me in the comments if I'm wrong here, Drew. I think you ran 7 sessions in the month of April, which is amazing. That's almost like 2 sessions a week. So, and the players are enjoying it. So it's because of you, Drew, and the other GMs involved that this campaign exists. You guys are the pillars that hold up the whole structure. Without you guys, we don't have this community. So like keep on rocking, keep doing what you're doing, because like what you're doing really, really matters. Okay. I'm always curious what is on the horizon. My question is, do you have any ideas bouncing around for what might come after Gauntlet Runner? Yes. Yes, I do. Did you want more of an answer than that? It was just a yes or no answer, wasn't it? It's too soon for me to say specifically, but I am thinking and planning ahead. So part of the reason that's too soon to say is I need to see how Gauntlet Runner does in the Kickstarter. Gauntlet Runner, it's many things coming together in this one project, and you'll see that the logo of it is the guy running with the sword, and you'll see also that like recurring icon of like the hero with his sword and his torch. So there's this sort of like trailblazing ahead, like a pioneer or the like the frontmost adventurer, a vanguard, let's call it that. There's this kind of heroic scion vanguard recurring visual. It's like an icon, and it obviously fits for the brave hero having to bravely go into these like deadly dungeons for the glory of Bazagon and Mitra Satsil, the dragon god. But it's also like this project is me trying for something at a higher level. I'm spending more time developing it in advance. I'm spending a lot more money on the art, on the trailer, on the marketing. I'm taking my time to really consult with people who really know what they're doing in terms of marketing. I'm meeting with professionals because I did things very amateurly in my previous Kickstarters. So it's kind of a humbling process of saying, I mean, I have these skills, but I don't have these skills, at least not yet. So, seeking out people who have mastered these other complex areas that are very, very important. So let's see, like if Gauntlet Runner does good, then I might do an adventure module next. I might do like the Ikoros campaigns, like the Myriad Legends campaign setting book, Gauntlet Runner 2, or my own RPG. I It's a little bit on pause at the moment because that's like I can't. That's a lot. That takes a lot of attention and time and energy and like mental computing, and I just don't have those. I don't have that right now. But I have been slowly but surely developing my own RPG. It's not done. I can't really talk about it yet. That is also a possibility. I might do that next. So we'll see. Or Gauntlet Runner might do crazy good. It might be wildly successful. I hope so. I'm shooting for that. I'm shooting for the stars. And if it's that wildly successful, then that gives me incentive to do either a Gauntlet Runner Part 2 or something in a similar vein. So let's see. I have a lot of ideas. But regardless of all of that, I really do need to get together that like Myriad Legends campaign setting document, even if it's just a simple Google Doc / PDF people can download. We really need that. And I need some more lore videos on the channel, just some more understanding for people to have about what is the setting, what's the history, what's going on in the different parts of the world, what's going on presently. Just, give us the meat on the bone to sink our teeth into, and then we could know better how to develop our regions or what have you. Okay, let's see. Going to find another comment. Adam Shea, I might be saying the last name correctly, and I've seen you around many times, so it's good to see you again, Adam. Esper, I was curious if you had any experience with Red Sun. Do you have any opinion on it? I don't. Actually, I don't know what Red Sun is. I'll Google that quick like. Red Sun can refer to many things. 1979 spaghetti western film. Is it that? Have any experience with Red Sun? Well, that makes me think it's a game of some kind. Sorry, I don't. What can you say about Red Sun? What do you like about it? Nuru, good morrow, Esper. Good morrow, Nuru. Is it morrow where you are? Maybe it is. Myriad Legends is like worldwide. We've got Europeans. We've got Oceanians, like Australians and New Zealanders. We've got obviously North Americans. We've got South Americans. We've got, I think, a few Asians. Yes, we do. I think Philippines and Thailand. I want to say there was someone from Thailand. And then there are some people from Asia that live in other areas of the world as well. Like, I think we have one Japanese fellow living in the UK. Yes. So it's worldwide, international, not multilingual. It's all just English for now. I can only dream that one day it will grow so much that we're going to have it in German and Spanish and Japanese and Italian and Portuguese and et cetera and et cetera. That would be awesome. Centaurius 101. I watched your video on Meanlock Prison yesterday and wanted to know how much effort it was to translate it to 5e. Not a lot, actually. I actually just tried to run the adventure as it is, and then all I had to adapt to 5e were the mean locks themselves, and it's just one mean lock stat block, and I find it pretty straightforward, viable. I find it very viable to make 5e versions of 3e stat blocks. You obviously have to do some converting, both of the math and making them not quite so overly complex, but yeah, I found the 3e mean lock highly convertible to 5e. And, some of the math of the game, like the DCs of a lock to pick or something, a stat block for like an NPC. But no, actually, I would say in the grand scheme of things, it was the low to maybe medium prep time. It's not a huge adventure. It's a low-key adventure. And just the writing of the adventure and what happens in all those crazy jail cells, that you just use that and your good old DM improvisation, and you're golden. Dragon Ball Talk. Can you please start a guild in Neverwinter? It's a free video game on a computer, Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my. As much as I would love to do that, I'm a little strapped for time. Ray, maybe they could bring it back in the classic favorites book. Maybe so. I don't know. Escape from Meanlock Prison it's a bit too hardcore for mainstream 5e, but someone could maybe do it. Elliot Canada, been listening to your Brotherhood of Fjarlstead series a bit lately. Enjoy the survivalist tone quite a bit. Awesome, thank you. That's another thing that I would like to revisit, and it's truly just a time issue. Those are very production heavy videos. They take a lot of time to produce them, and so it's tricky for me to make videos just at this point in time of that kind. But I have not forgotten the Brotherhood, and I have not abandoned them. And I'm sure at some point they will tell me their next tale, and I will produce it. Based Commenter, you could sell stuff during your live stream like your books. I should do that. Why am I not doing that? Here we go. Hey everyone, check it out. If you have not yet laid your eyes upon Monstrous Heroes, a 5e compatible book, the link to my online shop is down in the video description. This has 17 classes. They're not just classes, they're actually race classes. 17 monsters that you can play as a player, or as a GM, you can use them to craft really, really dynamic NPCs. There are also spells, feats, some items, and campaign setting stuff. There's Myriad Legends, Ikoros, some world building lore in here. Adventure fueling setting details, adventure hooks and NPCs galore in that section. And while you're checking that out, also don't forget to check out Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, my first album ever. I mean, my first book ever. And it was way too ambitious and is like 3 books in one. What was I thinking? I didn't know what I was doing. And I made a book that, if it falls on you, does 1d4 bludgeoning damage to your head. So there you go, guys. If you are interested, check out my shop on esperthebard.com, and I'd be much obliged for your patronage. I should actually make live streams where I promote my products. That's probably a good idea. I'm still learning how to be a businessman, so bear with me. Ray, what do you think of Crooked Moon? I really like the Celtic spooky theme. I have not looked deeply into Crooked Moon, but I have some. I know about them, and I am inspired by their phenomenal success. And I'm actually using the same marketing consulting company that they went through. So there's that. For Gauntlet Runner is what I'm talking about. So, here's hoping. And gosh, so inspiring to see that. Also very inspired to see Kelsey Dion's success with Shadow Dark, and then her recent Shadow Dark like campaign setting book. Really inspiring to see people do things like that. Strat Player 05. Who the heck is that weirdo? Oh, in your comment says the same thing. Who's that weirdo? Some guy talking about the Dungeons and the Dragons must be a nerd. I am. Well, I don't know if I'll claim nerd. I don't know if I'm quite smart enough to claim nerd. I didn't get quite high enough grades in school for that. But geek. I will claim geek. I've never understood that Minotaur subclass. Is it a jug or not? Oh, man. I'm gonna kick you out of here, and you're gonna be hoofing it back home. I'm almost out of time. Let me see. What else can I'm gonna find a couple more comments here. I said I was gonna try to keep up with the comments, and I did not succeed on that. Oh no. Sorry guys. I'm just gonna quickly try to grab a couple more comments, and then I'll have to hit the road, Jack. Okay. Drew, just from the description, I can't wait for the Kickstarter. Oh, here, let me read something and see if you like this description. The Mithril Emperor has decreed the commencement of the great games. His grand architect, the Labyrinth Lord, has set about constructing the Gauntlet Sprawl. This is already too wordy. Let me edit this right now. The Mithril Emperor has decreed the commencement of the Great Games. His grand architect, the Labyrinth Lord, has constructed an extraordinary series of dungeon trials that push competitors to their limits. Contenders assemble from near and far to take part in these brutal games. Some are beholden to compete, the criminals and the captured monsters. Oh, I'm on the wrong draft. I'm on an older draft. No wonder it reads like that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How did that happen? I'm like reading the first draft. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay. The Mithril Emperor has decreed the commencement of the Great Games. His grand architect, the Labyrinth Lord, has constructed an extraordinary series of trials that push competitors to their limits. Contenders assemble from near and far to take part in these brutal games. Some are beholden to compete, the criminals and the gladiators. Others come of their own accord, the glory seekers and the zealots. For the glory of Bazagon, city of mazes. For the praise of the dragon god Mitrasat Seal. For bloody spectacle. And for the dance with fate that calls forth all brave souls. How will these contenders survive? Cunning? Skill? Mystical powers? Brute force? Destiny and doom hang in the balance for each and every Gauntlet Runner. So there we go. I still need to develop that some, but that's one of the verbiages. That's like the campaign story. I've got other verbiage. I got one that just kind of, explains literally what the thing is. And then the trailer actually is going to just be more vibe. It will have some little blurb text in there, but it's not going to have a lot of text. It's not going to have much narration. It's just going to be, come on in to the dungeon. It's going to grab you, pull you in, and it's like immersion and vibe and feels. It is art. It is going to be a work of art. Literally, works of art are being put into this trailer. All right, let me see if I can grab one more comment. Adam Shea. Hey Esper, sorry, I meant Dark Sun, the module. Do you have any opinions about Dark Sun? Yes. The campaign setting, Dark Sun. I think it's a fantastic setting. It obviously hasn't been made for 5th edition in any official capacity, and it probably won't. There's a chance, but I don't think it would, just because it's too offensive or something. And that's fine. I don't think I would want an official 5e Dark Sun book. And like an unofficial one, but I don't know. Someone would have to be able to get the rights to it from Wizards of the Coast. It's too kind of brutal and harsh for 5th edition. 5th edition is aiming for more of a general audience, like a pop audience, and tries to be very accessible to just generalized newcomers from all walks of life. But I think it's great. Why do I think it's great? I think it's great because it actually has strong, coherent world building. And that's something that we're trying to do with Myriad Legends, is have a cohesive world, and a world that's not part of any multiverse. We don't want that. It's its own world. It's just this one world. There's the plane of shadows and the astral plane. There's the cosmology, but you can't hop out to other campaign settings. You can't link to other IPs. It's just this. And it's real people. And, each soul is just this one unique soul. There's not like multiple timelines. Everyone is playing for keeps. Everything's at stake. That's what makes the story matter. And so Dark Sun actually has that grip and that grit, and it has some consistent world building and some coherence, like internal consistency. That consistency is so important to have good story, a good setting, and that, you know, that can allow great adventures to thrive in it. And it has guts. It has courage, right? Like it's not afraid to make a statement and to do things that are bold. Is it kind of offensive in some ways? Sure. But I mean, the only way to not be offensive at all is to just be nothing, right? If I say you, I mean that in generalized sense, right? If you just be nothing, think nothing, then you offend nobody. But you also become nobody. You're just sort of a puppet. So that's I don't really want to go too far down the rabbit hole, and I don't want to start like knocking 5e. I love 5e. I love D&D. It's not the only thing I love. I love many other things as well. I think 5e is a fantastic system. The system itself, I think, is fantastic. Yes, I think Wizards of the Coast has mishandled it and made one blunder after another, and I'm not currently, you know, supporting Wizards of the Coast. I'm not spending money. I'm not giving them my money currently. But 5e's awesome. I love D&D. It's about us, right? We are D&D, right? We are the stewards. D&D or any RPG for that matter is just a toolbox. It's up to us to take that toolbox and to do something with it, to create something with it. Now, some toolboxes are going to function better than others, and some, you know, some toolboxes are a pleasure to use, and they make you feel great for having bought those tools and used them. Others are you know, they don't make it easy. And it's like, are you trying to put off your customers? But where am I going with this? To really have some fuel in the fire of a campaign setting, to really be able to tell great stories, to have adventures that have like some power to them, to have a heart that's actually pumping living blood behind it all. You have to take risks. You have to be kind of bold. You have to risk offending people. It's not about deliberately trying to offend people. It's not about being a jerk or an asshole. It's not about like, oh, I'm going to just troll people or like deliberately try to, you know, pick on, you know, whatever, someone or some group. It's not about that. But it's also not about like, oh, I'm too scared and I don't want to offend anybody and I want to make something that everybody will love. It's just weak. It's weak. It's like this bland porridge. So balance. I guess I'll bring it back to balance. That's something I often talk about. It's like this balance of being of like having consideration for people, like genuinely being considerate of people and not like trying to be a jerk. And at the same time saying, guys, I am willing to go down into the dark depths and to explore some topics that could be difficult topics, terrifying topics, uncomfortable topics, whatever. I'm willing to go there. Why? For the sake of telling a great story, for the sake of having a great adventures, for having a world that people are actually going to be able to care about, for having characters that they feel like, oh, something's on the line. There's something, you know, there's an actual crisis happening, or, you know, there's actual like evil out there that we're going to have to confront it and go into that, you know, dark dragons layer of the unknown and try to survive the horrors and hopefully level up and find the riches and save the princess and gain the ancient wisdom and the elixir and bring it back and rescue the lost father and the whole hero's journey. To have the hero's journey, there has to be some grit and some darkness and some actual like evil things in there. So yeah, Dark Sun does that. It's got harshness and it's got guts, and I respect that. I artistically respect that. So, perfect note to end on. Great topic, Adam. Thank you, everybody, for the chat, for the questions. If I wasn't able to get to your comment or question, my apologies. And, hopefully you can join in the next one and put it in there again. Make a note of it so you don't forget it, and put it in the chat on the next Bardstream, and I'll see if I can get to it then. Always a pleasure to interact with you guys. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap things up. See you all in a video sometime soon, and see you guys around Discord. May your adventures be many, everyone.